My sister Vanessa walked into my wedding wearing a white dress. Not cream. Not ivory. Pure white with a train longer than mine. I stood at the altar watching her glide down the aisle like a second bride. My mother smiled at her. My bridesmaids gasped. My fiancé Tyler squeezed my hand. But I did not cry. I smiled back at Vanessa because I knew something she did not. By the end of this reception, everyone would know exactly who my sister really was. Growing up, I was always Vanessa's shadow. She was 3 years older, prettier, and smarter according to our parents. She won beauty pageants while I played soccer. She dated the popular boys while I studied. When I got into college, Mom said it was good but not as impressive as Vanessa's scholarship. When I graduated with honors, Dad said it was nice but Vanessa had graduated top of her class. I learned to accept being second place in my own family. I met Tyler at a coffee shop 2 years ago. He was a teacher at the local high school. Kind funny, and he actually listened when I talked. For the first time someone chose me first. We dated for a year before he proposed on the beach where we had our first date. I was 26 and finally happy. When I told my family, Mom asked if Vanessa had met him yet. That should have been my first warning. Vanessa came home for Thanksgiving 3 months after Tyler proposed. She had been working in another state as a marketing manager. She walked in wearing designer clothes and her perfect smile. Tyler shook her hand politely. Vanessa hugged him like they were old friends. During dinner, she asked him 1,000 questions about his job, his family, and his hobbies. She laughed at all his jokes. Mom kept saying how wonderful it was that her girls were finally both settling down. After Thanksgiving, strange things started happening. Tyler would smile at his phone and put it away when I came near. He started working late more often. He forgot our movie nights twice. When I asked what was wrong, he said he was just stressed about work. I believed him because Tyler never lied to me. But something felt different. Something felt wrong. I pushed the feeling away and focused on planning our wedding. 2 months before the wedding, Tyler left his phone on the bathroom counter. It buzzed while he was in the shower. I glanced at it without thinking. The message was from someone named V. It said, "Can't wait to see you again. Last night was amazing." My stomach dropped. I opened his messages. Dozens of texts between Tyler and V. Flirting. Planning secret meetings. My hands shook as I scrolled through months of conversations. Then I saw it. A photo V had sent. It was Vanessa. I sat on the bathroom floor reading every message. Tyler and Vanessa had been meeting secretly since January. She would drive 3 hours to see him. They met at hotels. They talked about being together. Tyler wrote that he loved her but felt guilty about me. Vanessa wrote that I would never have to know. They planned to wait until after the wedding to tell me. They wanted to spare my feelings. I wanted to throw up. Instead, I took screenshots of everything. I did not confront Tyler that night. I did not call Vanessa screaming. I closed his phone and put it back exactly where he left it. When he came out of the shower, I smiled and asked about his day. He kissed my forehead and said he loved me. I said it back. But inside I was planning. They wanted to humiliate me after the wedding. I would humiliate them during it. They would regret ever betraying me. The next 2 months were the hardest of my life. I planned a wedding to a man who was cheating on me with my sister. I smiled at the dress fittings. I laughed at the cake tasting. I pretended everything was perfect while my heart was breaking. Tyler kept sneaking away to text Vanessa. Mom kept praising Vanessa for helping with wedding plans. Dad kept saying how proud he was of both his daughters. Nobody noticed I was dying inside. Nobody cared enough to look. My best friend Casey was my maid of honor. She had known me since high school. One night, 3 weeks before the wedding, I told her everything. I showed her the screenshots. She cried harder than I did. She wanted me to cancel the wedding immediately. But I explained my plan. Her eyes went wide. Then she smiled. She said she would help me with anything I needed. Together, we started preparing for the biggest moment of my life. Casey was good with computers. She helped me create a video presentation for the reception. We told everyone it was a slideshow of Tyler and me. Our parents thought it was sweet. The wedding coordinator said it was romantic. Tyler said he could not wait to see it. He had no idea what was really coming. The video had 2 parts. The first part was our love story. The second part was screenshots of every text between him and Vanessa. Every photo. Every lie. Every betrayal. 1 week before the wedding, Vanessa asked what color dress she should wear. I said anything but white, obviously. She laughed and said she would never do that. She picked out a beautiful blue dress and showed me photos. I told her it was perfect. I knew she was lying. Casey had overheard Vanessa on the phone with our mother. Vanessa had ordered a custom white wedding dress. She planned to upstage me at my own wedding. It was the final insult I needed. The morning of my wedding was sunny and warm. My bridesmaids helped me get ready. Mom cried when she saw me in my dress. Dad said I looked beautiful for once. That hurt, but I smiled anyway. Tyler sent me a text saying he could not wait to marry me. I wondered if he had texted Vanessa too. Casey squeezed my hand and whispered that everything was ready. I took a deep breath. It was time to get married and get revenge. The church was packed with 200 guests. I walked down the aisle on my father's arm. Tyler stood at the altar looking handsome in his suit. He smiled at me with tears in his eyes. Were they real? Did he actually love me at all? Or was this all an act? I pushed those thoughts away. I said my vows clearly. Tyler said his. Then the priest pronounced us husband and wife. Tyler kissed me. Everyone clapped. We walked back down the aisle as a married couple. I saw Vanessa in the third row wearing that white dress, smiling like she had won. The reception hall looked perfect. White flowers everywhere. String lights hanging from the ceiling. Round tables with gold chairs. Our families and friends filled the room with laughter and music. Tyler and I did our first dance. We cut the cake. We smiled for a million photos. Everyone kept saying what a perfect couple we were. What a beautiful wedding. What a bright future we had. If only they knew the truth. If only they knew what was coming next. After dinner, Casey stood up to give the maid of honor toast. She talked about our friendship. She talked about how happy I seemed with Tyler. She talked about how much I deserved real love. Then she said we had prepared a special video to share with everyone. The lights dimmed. The projector screen lowered. Tyler squeezed my hand under the table. He thought this would be a sweet love story. He was so wrong. I squeezed back and watched the screen. The video started with photos of Tyler and me. Our first date at the coffee shop. Our trip to the mountains. His proposal on the beach. Sweet music played in the background. People said, "Ah," throughout the room. Tyler smiled at me. Mom wiped tears from her eyes. Vanessa watched from her table, looking bored in her white dress. Then the music stopped. The photos changed. The room went silent. Screenshots of text messages filled the screen. Messages between Tyler and someone named V. The first text appeared. "I can't stop thinking about last night." Then another. "When can I see you again?" Then photos of Tyler and Vanessa together. Kissing in a parking lot. Holding hands at a restaurant. Lying in bed together. The room erupted in gasps and whispers. Tyler's face went white. He grabbed my arm. I pulled away and stood up. The video kept playing. More texts. More lies. Plans to be together after the wedding. Plans to leave me. Vanessa's face appeared on screen. Clear as day. Tyler stood up and tried to turn off the projector. My cousin blocked him. The video kept playing. Vanessa screamed and ran toward the exit. My uncle stopped her. She stood there frozen in her white dress while everyone stared. Tyler begged me to stop this. He said it was not what it looked like. I laughed. I asked him to explain the photos then. He had no answer. My father stood up. His face was red with anger. He asked Vanessa if this was true. She started crying. Vanessa tried to deny everything. She said the photos were fake. She said I was jealous of her and making this up. Then Casey played audio recordings. Vanessa's voice filled the room. "I love him more than she ever could." Tyler's voice responded. "I know, but we have to wait." More conversations. More proof. Vanessa fell into a chair. She buried her face in her hands. My mother stood up and slapped her. I had never seen Mom so angry. She called Vanessa ungrateful and cruel. My father told Vanessa to leave immediately. She grabbed her purse and ran out in her white dress. Several guests booed her. Tyler tried to follow. I told him to sit down. He obeyed like a child. My mother apologized to me in front of everyone. She said she had been blind to Vanessa's true nature. She said she was sorry for always putting her first. Dad hugged me tight. He said I deserved better than both of them. For the first time ever, my parents chose me. It should have felt good. Instead, it just felt sad. I told Tyler our marriage was over before it started. He cried and begged for forgiveness. He said Vanessa had seduced him. He said he loved me, not her. I did not believe a word. Casey had already contacted a lawyer friend. We could get an annulment since the marriage was based on fraud. Tyler signed the papers right there at the reception. In front of everyone. Our marriage lasted exactly 4 hours. The shortest marriage in our family's history. At least it would be memorable. Most guests left after the video ended. A few close friends stayed to support me. We ate wedding cake and drank champagne. Casey made a new toast to my freedom. We laughed and cried together. My parents sat with me all night. They kept apologizing for not seeing the truth sooner. I forgave them because they genuinely seemed sorry. Tyler left alone around midnight. Nobody said goodbye to him. Vanessa texted Mom begging to explain. Mom blocked her number. Some bridges burn forever. 3 months later, I moved to a new apartment across town. I got a promotion at work. I joined a gym and made new friends. Casey and I took a trip to Hawaii with the honeymoon money. I posted photos of myself smiling on the beach. Living my best life without Tyler or Vanessa. Mom called every week to check on me. Dad sent me flowers on random days. They were trying to make up for years of neglect. It helped. Slowly, I started healing from the betrayal. People ask if I regret exposing them at the wedding. I say no every time. They planned to humiliate me privately after the wedding. I humiliated them publicly during it. Fair is fair. Vanessa lost her relationship with our family. Tyler lost his reputation in our small town. They deserved everything they got. I learned that family is not always blood. Real family shows up and stays loyal. Casey proved that. My parents finally proved that. And I proved to myself that I am strong enough to stand up for myself.